Hi everyone, Fritz here. In today's video, I'm gonna show you how you can get the premium carbon fiber interior without that premium price point. Let's get into the video. For some of you who may have the silver interior, it kind of has a carbon fiber feel to it, but you want to upgrade to the black version. How can you upgrade to it? By saving yourself a little bit of money in the process of that. And let's be honest, if you're using this as your daily driver, you're not saving that much more weight by upgrading to carbon fiber. The thousands of dollars that you're gonna spend is not gonna equate to the gas that you're going to save in weight when it all boils down to it. The simple solution is to wrap it up. Wrapping it is actually a more cost-effective way, and it also gets you that look that you're trying to get. And let's face it, you're getting in and out of your car every single day. You should be proud and happy every single time that you're going in. It's gonna reduce your road fatigue. You're just gonna be feeling better all around. So let's go ahead and take off our first door handle. The main clips are going to be located here and here. We also have where it slots up in order to lock it into place here. So we want to pop out the two locking mechanisms right here and then slide it down. Just take your trim tool and pry it off. And just like that, we popped off our door handle. Before moving over to the other side, let's remove this vent. Start by getting underneath the corner and just prying it up. And now that we have the vent out, let's go ahead and remove the other side. The next piece that we're gonna go ahead and take off is this vent piece here. Use your trim tool piece. If you need a set, go to the link down below, the affiliate link, it helps out the channel. Let's go ahead and take this piece out. Open your glove box to help you out. Careful when you walk out the vent. Now, the second to last piece that we need to pull out is the center piece right here. Take your trim tool and get it underneath this corner and start to push up. But don't pull up too fast because you do have a wire right here. Use a pick tool. There's actually a locking mechanism right there. Okay, just like that, we have the center piece off. And you might be saying, Fritz, in the 2 Series, that's all of the silver carbon fiber trim. What else are we taking out? I'm actually gonna take out a part of the steering wheel. Now, if you don't wanna change the steering wheel, go ahead and fast forward. But if you're going to take out the steering wheel, just use a screwdriver. And there's a little hole in here, which will allow you to push up against the spring. And then on the other side, do the same thing. And you will have some clips here. Use your pick tool in order to press down on that connector right there. And then you have a few T20 torque screws to remove. Just go ahead and pull this out. You have a little bit of double-sided tape at the bottom here. Just go ahead and pry it off. And remove the ground. Now with everything out, let's go ahead and wrap it. So with all of our pieces here, let's take off what we absolutely do not need. And we don't need the iDrive controller on there. So just remove these 3 torque screws. And when we're looking at the vent, we actually have a few tabs here that hold it in place. Push them in order to release the vent. But I found that it's just easier to pull from the top and it comes off just like that. Do the same thing to the smaller vent. And with both vents cleared, it's gonna be a whole lot easier to work with. Now with all our pieces in place, let's go ahead and prepare the vinyl. Since it comes wrapped like this, just lay it out, make sure that it's flat, that way it's easier to work with. And make sure that you have enough to cover the entire surface area, even around the edges. This is about a good place for us to start, so let's go ahead and cut off this piece. And in this case, since we have such a thin piece up here, I'm actually gonna see if I can score a little bit right here, just so that we can cover this piece. All right, let's get this piece out of the way. Back to wrapping this. Depending on which kind of wrap that you get, a heat gun isn't completely necessary, but it's going to make the process a whole lot easier. And trust me, just save yourself some time and energy. Buy the good wrap. So this is Vivid by 3M, and it has air release, so we shouldn't get any of those air bubbles stuck in here. If you know that you have too much material now, go ahead and cut it off. That way the film is easier to work with. Now when you have the trim piece pretty much covered, apply a lot of heat and pressure in this area to make sure that you get whatever you can to stick to the walls here before cutting a small square in this area. Cut the slits in the four corners, but not all the way to the edge. And then start rolling the wrap. Let's go ahead and put in the iDrive knob. And looks pretty good. Now to do the vent on the driver's side. Small piece. All that we're gonna do, take the film, take it off. We're gonna use some heat. This one we don't really need to rub in the middle because we have the metallic blue trim here as well as the inner black trim inside. So the part that we really want to wrap is from here to here. Now for this one, you want to make sure that you get really deep in the crevice. Use the heat to stretch the material because when you cut it, you want to make sure that none of the old silver shows through. Let's get our handles done. Looking back at it, the door handles are probably the hardest part of the install. You really have to get it on as much of the flat surface as possible before you start stretching and rolling it over. This is probably where I had the most wrinkles and had to reapply it quite a bit. And pay real close attention to when you're working around the tight corners at the ends. And when you have the good wrap, don't be afraid to reapply the film if you need to. Now that everything's been wrapped, let's go ahead and put back in the vent. We took it out from the top tabs first, so that means we put in the bottom tabs before aligning the top tabs into place. Go ahead, stick it back in. Okay. Remember that we have to stick it in from this slot and then lock in these clips. Tab that slides up, align the main locking pins. For the steering wheel, reinsert your media as well as your cruise control. Place in the blue wire first. The connector down here. Connector ground. And then lock in the controls. Then place back in the trim. Now connect your airbag and just lock those springs back into place. Perfect. Now to put back in this vent, same deal, bottom side pins going first. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then just pry up on the locking mechanism that puts in these 3 tabs. Make sure to line everything up. Now for the center console, just reattach the iDrive. Make sure that this portion goes in first, which locks it in place. And when all the other pins line up, just push down to hold them in place. Last piece here, just use this hook to align the door handle in place. Once you have that there, making sure that the other pins are in their proper position, just push it in. And we're done. Now it's been about a few weeks since we did the vinyl wrap, and I'm happy to say that in those couple of weeks that it's holding up really, really well. The vinyl isn't peeling or bubbling or coming off at all. It's staying in put and it feels like real carbon fiber. By no means am I a professional. I'm a simple weekend warrior just like most of you, and if I can do this job, I'm sure you can too. But don't take my word for it, just take a peek for yourself. Now there are some parts in the vinyl that I did mess up on. I didn't stretch the material as much as I could have. Maybe I could have used a little bit more heat, but I did this in about 4 hours with a little bit of help. It is a lot of help, trust me, to have someone hold the heat gun for you while you're stretching out the vinyl. But if you stretch this over the course of 2 to 3 days, maybe do 1 piece at a time, I'm sure that your vinyl wrap will come out flawlessly. With that, we're gonna bring the video to a close. If you enjoyed this one, leave a like and comment down below. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on the next video, and I'll see you in the next one.